If I was starting over today with zero experience, zero connections, and zero credibility in the AI space, this is exactly how I would perform my first $3,000 AI audit. And I've battle tested this framework multiple times and productized my offer to the point where the offer itself sells like clockwork. And before I even begin with the video, I want it to be known that you do not need any technical experience, any technical background to be in the AI automation or AI consulting space. In fact, the less you focus on the technical side and the more you focus on the business itself, the more money you'll make. Now you see, while everyone else is out there having surface level conversations and pitching generic solutions after 2 to 3 calls, there's this completely different approach that will position you as a strategic advisor from day one. So in today's video, I'll show you how to interview leaders and staff to uncover their real challenges and hidden inefficiencies, and then how to turn those interview insights into a visual map that highlights and ranks the best AI solutions. And then lastly, how to build an undeniable data-backed business case study that gets these clients excited to invest. But before we dive into the framework, let me explain what an AI audit actually is. An AI audit is a structured consulting process where you go inside of any business, study how it operates, and identify exactly where AI and automation can create a lot of impact. You would sit down with the CEO or any decision maker, so the founder, co-founder, whoever it may be, department heads like head of sales, head of marketing, and even the staff on the ground. You interview them and you dig deep into what's working, what's broken, and where the real challenges are. And over a 2 to 6 week period, which is the average duration of a consulting phase, you build a complete picture of the business and you map out the solutions that get people genuinely excited to invest. Now, the first step is the discovery interview phase. The foundation of any successful AI audit is understanding the business from the inside out. During this critical first phase, you're going to conduct targeted interviews with both leadership and frontline employees to uncover their hidden inefficiencies and find automation opportunities. Now, before you start, you need a plan. And based on the processes we use at my company, Dr. AI, for our beginner-friendly audits, here's some things you should be aiming for. First things first is, who are you going to interview? For the full picture, you need to listen to both sides, leadership and frontline employees. Leadership includes stakeholders, managers, CEOs. These people define the strategic direction, and the frontline employees live the processes daily. And by the way, the free interview template is in my bio. If you guys want an in-depth and more detailed guide on how to actually conduct these interviews, click the link in the bio and you'll find a detailed PDF. The stakeholder interviews focus on understanding high-level business goals, team structures, challenges, and success metrics from the leadership's perspectives. And the employee interviews focus on their day-to-day tasks, anything that's very time-consuming, often frustrating details that managers might not see. Now, how many calls should you conduct? For a small business, anywhere from 10 to 50 employees, you should be aiming for at least 3 to 5 interviews with key members to start. For slightly larger or more complex departments, you might need up to 10 to 15, possibly 20 interviews to get a better and more detailed picture of what's going on in their business. And each interview should be anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. Keep it concise, be very focused on the goal. Here are some pro tips for conducting these types of interviews. First things first, listen more and talk less. Aim for an 80 to 20 split where they're doing most of the talking. The primary goal is for them to reveal their workflow challenges and whatever their pain points are. And in order for them to do so, make sure you're asking open-ended questions and create space for a lot of detailed responses. Second thing is ask why repeatedly, and not just why, ask questions that dig deep into their pain points even more. So when you're listening to your client and they're talking about their pain points, don't just write it down. Ask questions like, why is it done that way? Or what happens if that step is missed? And the reason is, again, to get to the root cause, and this will slowly reveal true automation opportunities. And third thing is to record the call with permission. This is going to free you up to focus on the actual conversation instead of being afraid that you might miss out on a point or frantically taking notes, right? So use a tool like fireflies.ai. You can transcribe it later, put it into ChatGPT, and it'll give you back details that you might have missed. So that's always a good thing. Make sure you always ask for permission and explain how the recording is going to be used. The last point is to focus on the problems and not solutions. Avoid the temptation to say anything related to an AI solution. Something like, oh, an AI could fix that, or I know what AI solution you can implement and it's going to bring you X, Y, and Z in return, or it's going to save you X amount of time. Your job during this phase is to purely understand their current reality. The solutions come later after you fully mapped out their processes. Step 2 is mapping those processes and finding opportunities. Now, after you've conducted these interviews, you're going to have a lot of notes and a lot of insights. The next step is to translate that information into a visual format that you and your client can easily understand. This is done through process mapping. So the goal here is to create a high-level, very detailed, visually appealing flowchart of the business's core operations. And for most service-based businesses, you can break this down into 3 fundamental engines. The first part is acquisition engine. How are they finding and signing on new customers and clients? The second one is delivery engine. How are they delivering their product or service to the customers they acquired? And number 3 is support engine. How do they handle their customer inquiries or questions and issues post-sale? Now, using the information from your interviews, you'll be able to map out each step in these processes. And you can use a very basic tool like Miro board for this. And as you chart each step, the critical part is spotting the friction points. You can use a simple legend to flag them clearly. Something we use in my company is time loss and quality risk. Time loss is basically a bunch of tasks that are highly manual, very repetitive, and take a lot of employee time. And quality risks are steps in the process that are prone to human error or inconsistencies. Now that you visually map the business and tag the problem areas, you can move on to prioritizing solutions with the AI opportunity scope. Take each time loss and quality risk you've identified on your canvas and brainstorm a potential AI solution for it. After that, plot each of those solutions on the matrix based on 2 simple questions. First question is, how much business impact will this have? And how much effort will it take to implement? Now, a sample graph would look something like this. You have 4 quadrants, and each quadrant represents something different. So for example, a quick wins quadrant would represent something that has a lot of impact, but requires low effort. An example of this would be automated client onboarding or AI call recording and CRM updates. Now, this quadrant right here represents big swings, high impact and high effort. There are some solutions that you can offer within this quadrant. Then you have deprioritized. This requires high effort, but it has very low impact. So this is something that you shouldn't really focus on. Then we move on to nice to haves. These are low impact, low effort AI solutions, including AI chatbots that answer frequently asked questions or automated payment processing / contracts. So you guys can use these 4 quadrants to map out all of the solutions from high priority to low priority, and you'll be able to get your clients on the same page as you. And this board will be available to view afterwards, so you can take a look at this on your own time. Now, the next part is validating your solutions. You're going to set up a follow-up session with the main stakeholders and walk through the opportunity matrix together. You're going to position this as a collaborative workshop where you're going to refine and validate ideas. Your goal here is to co-create the final list of prioritized projects. Now, here are some key questions you can ask during the validation phase. Looking at these quick wins, which one of these resonates most strongly with the challenges your team described? Or we've identified automated CRM updates as a high impact opportunity. Are there any team dynamics or hidden steps we might have missed that could complicate this? Or you can ask something like, from your perspective, which of these solutions would the team be most excited about? Which might they not like or resist, etc.? And then, does this roadmap align with your strategic priorities for whatever the time frame is? Now, this collaborative process is going to build a lot of trust, which is why it's such an imperative phase. And by the end of this meeting, you won't be pitching them any solutions. You'll present a plan that you've already agreed on together. And step 3 is presenting your findings. Now, this is where you're tying in everything from the first day up until the last day of the 6-week period. You've gathered all of the insights and outlined all the opportunities. Now it's time to create a very compelling executive presentation. This is the moment where you shift from your researcher phase to the advisor phase. You're going to show a clear, evidence-based roadmap for the client's AI journey. Your presentation should flow like a story. Talk about what you uncovered in their business, the most impactful AI opportunities you've identified, your recommended plan beginning with fast wins, because like I said, that's what showcases your skill set, and the ROI they can expect from moving forward. Next part is putting the slides together. Your full presentation may have 10 to 20 slides, but these 5 make the core that every client presentation needs. The first step is scope and objectives. Begin by restating the project's goals. This is going to ensure alignment and shows you've understood their priorities from the first day. Number 2 is the opportunity graph. Share the matrix from step 2 to highlight all of the potential initiatives and how they've been classified. So remember the 4 quadrants we made. Share the quick wins, big swings, deprioritize, nice to haves. Number 3 is the roadmap summary. Turn the matrix into a phase timeline. You're going to group and prioritize the opportunities, especially the quick wins, into clear stages. So for example, phase 1, phase 2. And for large organizations with over 200 employees, build a tailored version for the sales team. This is an example you guys can use as a reference. Fourth slide is opportunity deep dive. You're going to dedicate a slide to each one of the top 1 to 3 quick wins. Use a current versus future state diagram to contrast the inefficiencies with the streamlined AI solutions, and this includes the key metrics on time saved. And the last part is the ROI summary. This is the money slide. So you're going to close with a powerful table showing recommended AI solutions, their costs, and projected financial impact. This is a slide that seals client confidence and buy-in. And if you guys want to know how to calculate all of the costs and projected financial impact, you can click the link in the bio. There's a full detailed PDF that explains all of this. So these are the 5 slides you must have in your client presentation to fully seal the deal. And then you transition into becoming their AI automation partner. This is how I would perform my first AI audit for $3,000 if I was a complete beginner with no technical background, no technical expertise. But I want to be real with you guys for a second. Most people watching this will do absolutely nothing with any of this information. They'll watch along, they'll nod their head, they'll even save it to a playlist, but they won't do anything with this. And here's the interesting part. The people that do will 100% succeed because AI is still in its infancy. A lot of businesses are very paralyzed by choice. They know they need AI and they see their competitors using it, but they don't know where to start. They have no clue what AI is other than you use ChatGPT to get things done very quickly. So if I'm being honest with you guys, if you watch this video and you actually take action, you will succeed because, like I said, AI is in demand and a lot of businesses really need to adopt it. And if you can present yourself as a researcher at first and then an advisor, you will make a shit ton of money. Make sure you guys rewatch this, use the links in the bio, take advantage of it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.